Samson, the strongest man who ever lived. A man who ripped apart a lion with his bare hands, who killed 1,000 enemies with a donkey's jawbone, who carried an entire city gate 30 miles uphill. And then, he lost everything because of 7 words whispered to the wrong woman. This is Samson, the strongest man who ever lived, and the devastating moment that brought him down. Before Samson was born, an angel told his mother, "Your son will have supernatural strength, but his hair can never be cut, ever." This wasn't just a weird rule. His uncut hair was the visible sign of God's power flowing through him. Break that rule, lose everything. As Samson grew up, he discovered he wasn't just strong. He was impossibly powerful. A lion attacked him. He tore it apart like paper. 1,000 Philistine soldiers ambushed him. He grabbed a donkey's jawbone and left the battlefield covered in bodies. The Philistines, Israel's brutal enemies, were terrified. They'd oppressed God's people for 40 years, but now they had a problem they couldn't solve. One man was destroying their entire army. They needed his secret, and they were willing to pay anything for it. Enter Delilah, beautiful, deadly, for hire. The Philistine rulers made her an offer. Discover the secret of his strength. We'll each pay you 1,100 pieces of silver. That's roughly 150 pounds of silver. In today's money, hundreds of thousands of dollars. She accepted. Now here's the fascinating part. Samson didn't fall for it immediately. Delilah asked him about his strength, and 3 times he lied to her. "Tie me with fresh bowstrings." She tried. He snapped them like thread. "Use new ropes." Same result. "Weave my hair into a loom." Still nothing. But Delilah kept pushing, day after day. "How can you say you love me when you don't trust me?" She nagged him until the Bible says he was tired to death, and Samson made the fatal mistake. He told her the truth. "My hair has never been cut. If someone shaves my head, my strength will leave me, and I'll become as weak as anyone else." That night, Delilah let Samson fall asleep with his head in her lap. She called for someone with shears, and while the strongest man in the world slept peacefully, his 7 braids were cut away. When the Philistines rushed in to capture him, Samson woke up thinking, "I'll escape like always." But then comes one of the most tragic lines in the entire Bible. He did not know that the Lord had left him. The Philistines seized him immediately. They gouged out his eyes, bound him in bronze chains, and threw him in prison. The mighty warrior was now blind, broken, and grinding grain like an animal. Samson had gone from champion to circus act. Months later, the Philistines threw a massive party in their temple to celebrate. 3,000 people packed inside and on the roof. They wanted entertainment, so they dragged out their prize, the blind, chained former champion. The crowd roared with laughter. They mocked him, humiliated him. This was their greatest enemy, now their greatest joke. But there was something the Philistines didn't notice, something that would change everything. Samson's hair had grown back. Samson asked his guard, "Let me feel the pillars holding up the temple so I can lean on them." The entire massive structure rested on 2 central pillars, and Samson was standing between them. Then he prayed. Maybe for the first time in years, he actually prayed, "Lord, remember me. Please strengthen me just once more." He reached out, 1 hand on each pillar, and he prayed his final words, "Let me die with the Philistines." Then he pushed with everything he had. The pillars cracked. The temple groaned. The roof collapsed. 3,000 people on top, hundreds more inside, crushed in an instant. The Bible records this sobering truth. Samson killed more people in his death than in his entire life combined. The strongest man who ever lived ended his story not on a throne but under the rubble of his enemy's temple. Samson had everything: a divine calling, supernatural power, a destiny to save his people. But he threw it away for pleasure, for ego, for someone who was literally paid to destroy him. His story asks us, what gifts are you wasting? What small compromises are you making that could cost you everything? What secrets are slowly destroying you? But here's the hope. Even blind, broken, and at the end, when Samson finally turned back to God, God answered. It's never too late. If this story hit you, smash that like button and subscribe for more incredible Bible stories that are more intense than any movie. Comment below. Which Bible hero should I cover next? And share this with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, it's not about how strong you are, it's about what you do with that strength.